What's up, guys? Welcome back to the JP and Trav show on the JP and Trav YouTube channel, and also live from at Indy Sooners X account. We appreciate everybody for being here. It's your host with the most, JP. To my right, I have my esteemed co-host, brother, and friend, Travis J. Davison. Travis, how you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. I was fighting the good fight for UNLV today, which landed me a meeting tomorrow with Team Sports Consulting Group with Blueprint Sports. See if they can connect us to one of their 25 schools or some of their 25 schools. We'll see. But, the Odoms, they're Okies. Brad and Brian and Barry. Obviously, Brian's at North Texas, but Barry and Brad, they're out there in Vegas, so had to go to bat for them. Was obviously getting UNLV side of the story throughout the day, and was sharing that in tidbits. Anytime I get I don't know, quote unquote insider information and stuff like that, I just kind of let it shape what I share. So I share the Ross Dellinger account, I share the information coming out that way instead of just putting out information because nobody's going to listen to me.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I will pick and choose. I'll see who's telling the truth in the national media, and then I'll just parrot them and whatnot, retweet them, and whatnot. But yeah, it was a fun day, man. Wild day, right? And I was shocked on a number of fronts, but how are you doing, JP?
Yeah, man. No, I'm all right. Like I told you, kind of off air. I'm wary about tonight's episode a little bit, just with the recent decommitment and the injury report that
Right?
came out. And it just feels like even MKPG down here already commenting saying the whole football program feels like house of cards right now. I think everybody just needs to breathe.
No, man, it's
Like,
Hawkins season.
like the injuries certainly are frustrating, and it's like, dang, and I hope it puts it to perspective. A lot of things that we'll talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to review. We got a lot of film to look at tonight, actually, from our buddy Sooner Gridiron. But we're going to review some of the things that happened. But it'll be a big part of our conversation that you look at the injury report and there's five wide receivers listed on there. Your
The
top
top five.
five. Your top five wide receivers, not a freshman, not somebody who is a walk. Your top five, literally your top five wide receivers are listed on the injury report. So that is just a piece of the cog, right? But anyways, we'll get to that. Otherwise, I'm doing okay. I a little plumbing problem in the bathroom, so it's the reason we were able to go a little early because I was gonna be a little late. I had a church function, but had to come home early, deal with that, and so got somebody coming out in the morning. But we're okay for now. So
Man,
yeah,
man, the stadium was falling apart against Tennessee. I got a text from somebody in the Santee Lounge that was like, "Hey, do you guys have water over there?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, yeah, some water main broke on the west side or whatever, or on the west side. They're like, our toilets won't flush, all this kind of stuff." I'm like, um, call the game. Sorry, not safe to play in it. Guess we'll just call it a tie. But no, they ended up finishing the game. So, but yeah, wild times. Injury report coming out. I do think this is super silver lining, sunshine pumping, things like that. But looked like he had developed something, Hawkins, that is, with Petaway, right? Like some of the freshmen, keep in mind, when these guys come in together, they practice together. So while Jackson has been throwing to Burks, has been throwing to some of the guys that, theoretically were ones, Hawkins has been throwing to Zion Kearney and Zion Reagans and Jacques Petaway and Ivan Carrion and those guys. So it is kind of interesting. We've seen this in the past, right? You saw Rattler really be into Stogner because that's who he came in with, right? Same with him and Bridges and those guys, right? With the people you come in with, that matters. Caleb and Jaleel Farouk, obviously they had a relationship. Mario Williams, when he came in, Mario was getting targets, right? So it's always interesting because it seems like who you come in with and who you typically practice with, that's who you got that chemistry with, right? So it's interesting because all of our top receivers are out, but those are the guys that Mike Hawkins doesn't have any chemistry with anyways. I don't think Michael Hawkins probably ever thrown a ball to Andrew Anthony, ever thrown a ball to Jaden Gibson, Nick Anderson. He might, I mean, I assume he has thrown a little bit, but how often is he thrown to, Deion Burks? Not nearly as much as Jackson Arnold has. So I don't know. I think when it comes to wide receiver injuries, for sure, it sucks. But I think that if there was ever a time for the backups to be in, it's with the backup quarterback, right? Like it's with guys that he's used to throwing to. So, anyways, I do think and I kind of walked this out in my article this week on OU Insider, but moving Jacoby Johnson over from defensive back to wide receiver, that makes me feel like the dude's a talented wide receiver. Everybody around here watched him in high school, at Mustang, he's a stud. There's no doubt about it. But I said Michael Hawkins likes to get to the outside, right? When he runs, he likes to get to the outside, get into space. He keeps his eyes downfield, but he likes to get into space. Well, our perimeter blocking has struggled. Well, I think part of the reason our perimeter blocking has struggled is because we have a lot of freshmen out there that don't understand leverage, and we got guys out there that are 5'9", 150 pounds. It's just non-negotiable, right? Well, I was I think they're bringing Jacoby over basically to just block on the perimeter because they know he's a big, physical, 6'2" guy who's used to playing defense, used to being physical, and he understands that leverage because he's so used to being against it, right? So I had joked about that, saying, hey, we're bringing him over as a wide receiver, but it's to go block on the perimeter. We're bringing him over as a lead blocker for Michael Hawkins to get to the outside. And I do think we're going to run to the outside a lot more with Luttrell's new offense, right? I think maybe his old offense, but not his previous to OU offense. I'll put it that way. Yeah. But but I think there's something to that. I think that they want a big body, sure, but they want a guy that understands the perimeter blocking because he's used to getting blocked, right? Yeah. So it is funny because he was asked, Brent Venables, that is, was asked in his press conference yesterday about Jacoby Johnson and about that switch, right? And he brought up that same play. He's first play game against Tennessee, right? We blew it up, right? They ran a little screen. 2021 against Texas, right? They took it and they scored on that play, right? Everybody's yeah. It's Jacoby Johnson understands those things. So I was why would you bring up a play where you need a perimeter block to hold while somebody asks you about moving him over? That seems very odd. So I'm pretty sure my theory is correct. But yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, we will. I actually just peeked on Twitter for a quick second. I know we talked about injuries, but SEC might put something out there about go look at Ole Miss's injury report. It's it looks like it's 2 pages, which is crazy. So we're not the only ones on injuries.
Is Lane screwing with people though?
No, I don't know. It's a great question. He got a lot of people on there though. He got a bunch of probables. I'll say that there's a bunch of probables on there. So he may be
okay because that's the thing. It's I think Kiffin could be screwing with somebody.
Yeah.
Let's see, Kentucky at Ole Miss. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's a tough injury report, but nobody's gonna feel sorry for you.
Nope.
It is what it is.
They're not. It is what it is, and we'll get into it from here. I mean, go ahead and comment, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching us on Twitter. Make sure you retweet this. Get as many people in here as we can tonight. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, right? The biggest of which clearly being, Jackson Arnold performing the way he did against Tennessee and Michael Hawkins having to come in relief and doing some nice things, right? And so, we're on to our week 4 review, Tennessee versus OU, powered by OU versus the World, formerly known as Super Gridiron. Make sure you guys follow him. He's such in the process of trying to get his account back, but he helps us with our clips, and we appreciate him. So let's just hop into it, dog, because let's look at these plays, man, because
it was a tough game, so I'm going to pour myself something.
Please do. Please go ahead and pour yourself some horns down apple pie
horns down apple pie right there. I think it's in 46 liquor stores in Oklahoma now.
Yeah.
A lot of bars and restaurants are announcing it, I think, next week. But it is delicious. You should go get yourself some.
Yeah.
I know y'all know, just as that caption will show you, I got to ration it, man. I got to get another bottle. Anyways, 10% of the proceeds go to OU Baseball NIL. I'm really excited to see what kind of check they write to OU Baseball on September 1st. No idea what it's going to be, but I hope it's nice and big, and I hope it will encourage other businesses to get involved with OU's NIL and specific sport NILs. Like if you got a business out there and you're like, man, Horns Down Fine Spirits will sell more because they are doing this, right? Like that's how marketing works, right? So like OU Baseball or Horns Down Fine Spirits stands to make more money because of this partnership, but so does OU Baseball, right? So, basketball, softball, like I would love for each sport to have a different company that, you can go out and it specifically fuels it. So cheers everybody to Horns Down Fine Spirits.
Yes, indeed.
Now we can roll that beautiful bean footage.
So, and before we get it really into the footage, really quick, Travis and I have historically, been labeled sunshine pumpers, right? We've talked about this on the show numerous amount of times. Travis and I just decide to have a positive perspective on the world. That's who we are as people. And so we allow that to inform how we love our favorite football team. Is that correct, Trav? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, so with that being said, Travis and I normally we're optimistic. Okay, that's how we are. I'm not saying that the tone of the show is not going to be optimistic. Okay, we were trying to be reasonable when we said, hey, it's crazy for people to be saying Jackson Arnold needs to be benched after Houston. It's 2 games, right? You have to believe things will get better. Tulane, things looked better. They weren't great. They looked better. Okay, you need to get data. You have to. You can't just believe that it's just always going to be bad. You can't live life that way, right? And that's not always how it is. Sometimes it just takes things time to work out. And yes, sometimes it goes the other way, right? But you don't know. Okay, Tennessee happens, and we're about to get into this footage. There's no defending what happened Saturday night. You can't put yourself in the positions we put ourselves in the positions that Jackson put us in Saturday night, prime time, your first SEC game against a basically top 5 opponent, and your defense is playing the best game they played in probably 15, 20 years, right?
It was amazing.
Giving you opportunity after opportunity, and not only do you not cash in the opportunities in general, the next play on both of those opportunities, the next play, like it's almost something that is indescribable. Like when you're talking to somebody else about it, I don't even know how that happens, right? So we'll get into these, Trav, but
that's the thing. It's Tyler and I talk about it all the time. Right after a turnover, what do you need to do? Take a shot, make them go pay for it. The exact opposite of that is give the ball back to them.
Yeah. It was demoralizing, and I wasn't even there. I was with TJ, and we were demoralized. I can't imagine what it was like live. And so here's the first of the 3, the interception, and this one, is
look at the protection.
The second most egregious of the 3, and as Trav comments, let's take a look at the protection, because we talk about We talk about the offensive line, and they haven't been great. They weren't great that night. They got manhandled, embarrassed, to be honest, But this right here, there's it's basically max protect. There's no reason for
And I,
Jackson to throw this into the like nobody's open.
and
Nobody's open.
and let's count the white jerseys. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the line that's 6, 7, 8. Now that means that there are 3 white shirts that are off camera. 3. I just want people to remember that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And he goes backside. Now I know.
Now there were 3.
Yeah, 3.
There
And I
were
know
3
you'll
right
see.
next to the guy he threw it to.
We're gonna see the end zone view here. I know people are saying that Birch was open on the post. I don't necessarily agree with that because you see here before he throws it, okay, you have this. I don't know if my mouse is even seeable by everybody else, but you see that other high safety. Like if you're gonna say he layers it in there, that's fine. But I don't know that Dion is stopping. I think like you said, it's a post. So if it's a post, then he's taking this other safety with him. So that's not really open either. It's honestly more than likely just a dead play that you have to throw away. Not throw it literally away. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know what he's seeing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what he was seeing either. And this is where, like I said, Travis and I have always been the positive guys. We've been not sunshine pumpers, just looking at the positive side, being rational, being reasonable. This is us being who we've always been. We're being rational. There's no other option than to say Jackson Arnold played terribly. And he
Well, and that's the
deserved.
thing. Like if you were to just like look at Jackson roll back, you know, hit that back foot and rip this thing, like it was his most confident throw of the night, and it was directly to a defender. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is he's like he looked back there like he was drooling,
Yeah.
licking his chops at a ball that he knew was about to go for a big gain. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like they're wearing green jerseys and blended
Yeah.
in. Like,
And he just might, like you said, just not be seeing it. Because I mean, the guy drops off. Maybe he thinks that guy's supposed to be in the flat, and maybe he is. But again, good football players make good plays. You have to see. I mean, he's still there. At this point, when he's throwing it, you have to believe that he sees him.
if nothing, you just rip it up the seam and give him a chance. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. The guy he threw it to is the one you can't throw it to.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree 100%. So and again, we don't know like if Dion is running, up and out. If he's running a straight up post, again, he's running right into that safety. So that's not open either. He'd have to throw Dion open straight up the seam, like you said, which I don't
Right,
know.
but just rip it up the seam.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's the route that Dion was truly running anyway. So it would have been. But again,
An
would you
incompletion?
rather take? What'd you say?
Oh no! I
Yeah,
said
right.
an
You'd rather take
incompletion.
incompletion.
I'll
You would
take it.
rather take an incompletion in this instance. Absolutely. 5,000%. Okay, so that happens, okay? And then we get this magical play that, obviously after that, we did have a drive where we got a field goal, right? And then we did give up a big play, big touchdown. But that sometimes that happens. Okay, it's a great offense. You're still in the game, okay? And then RSJ, who's playing as one of the best defensive players in the nation right now, just absolutely comes in and makes what at the moment you're feeling like is the play of the game, right? I mean,
Right.
getting a blitz off the edge, like not seeing what's going to happen, or Nico's not seeing him coming late. He disguises it well, and he just absolutely, I don't even know that RSJ goes for the ball, but him hitting Nico the way he did,
Right.
it pops the ball out. Ethan Downs recovers.
That was so good. But it hurts because we know what happens next.
Yes, we're about to get to that. So RSJ does the. We're on the 5-yard line, and I think I can speak for probably all Oklahoma fans when you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is what we needed! Like we're in this game, man. Like we're here. Like Shut all that stuff
About
up.
to tie it up. About to tie it up.
We about to score. We have to tie it up because there's no way we don't score from the 5 yard. And even in the worst case scenario, okay, we kick a field goal. Like that would be
Right.
demoralizing. But hey, you get points. You're not thinking in any capacity that you don't get points here, right? Okay.
Correct.
So next, this happens, and this is the least egregious of the three, certainly, because I don't blame him on this. I mean, it's a football play. You're going down. You want to say hold on to the ball better, Jackson, but like again, guys make football plays like this. You can ask why was that the play call? Why did we not? I mean, why were we not running out to the edge anyway? Because if you look at the full play call, which we'll look at here in a second, Javonte Barnes. I mean, look at that. Look at that space. That's potentially a touchdown. That's what I thought. As soon as I saw it happen, I said touchdown audibly because I thought he was going to pitch it. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, well, and that's the problem, right? Is I think it was Gabe, maybe that was like, this is a fake toss. It was not an option. It wasn't a read that he got wrong or anything like that. I'm like, it's a pretty good fake because Javonte looks like he's getting the ball right there. Like really good fake.
Yeah.
So
no,
even
I
if
agree.
even,
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe he's supposed to look like that. And listen, I get the QB counter. It happens. But again, Gabe said, as you said, it was done. He felt like it was done because why are we running into the interior of the strength of their defense?
all night,
Why
all
are we
season.
doing that? Why are we
Right.
doing it? Right. So the other thing that sucks about this, and this is just a piece of the bad luck we've had, I think, sometimes also on offense this year. When you look at this angle, if Bauer Sharp is not under Jackson, Jackson's probably
Down.
just down. And you don't even have to worry about this. But the fact that he's on top of Bauer Sharp, even that split second, makes him just hover enough for that ball to get out before his legs hit the
I
ground.
know, dude. Bauer Sharp can't do anything right. The
Yeah.
one time he does get in the way of somebody, it's like
Right.
it's his own quarterback.
Yes.
Uh,
It just and when I tell you, Trav, like I want to hear your perspective, and those of you who are in the comments that were in the stadium, like what was y'all's perspective? Because when
well,
I
we
tell
were
you,
quiet. We didn't believe, like at least with the people I was sitting with, we didn't believe it. We were still hyped about being down
yeah,
there, okay, about to score. And the Tennessee fans didn't see the ball come out. They just saw somebody, like they just saw one of the Tennessee players like hold up the ball, and like a couple people point, and we're like, nah, there's no way, like no way this is happening.
yes,
But it was quiet. Like it was like everybody was a little confused. But
yeah.
yeah, that's just
I mean, it's a
it just can't
dejected,
happen, man.
it's
It
a
just can't happen.
dejected feeling, right, Trav? Right? I mean, like you're about to go score. You're
At
about
that
to,
point, you legitimately feel like the defense has to score from here on out, or else we won't score against.
yeah. No,
We won't score tonight.
you do, and Tanner says here that he thinks that everybody around him thought it was for sure a missed call, and that's what we thought. Like even watching the broadcast, and then you see the replay, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way, bro. And like it's the play after the momentum swing that is not only obviously for just the fan base and everybody in general, but for the defense that was just out there and just gave you this play, and they have to go right back out. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
unthinkable.
like RSJ just forced a turnover. Ethan Down just running down the sideline with the ball in his hand. They literally just sat down, just got some water, and somebody just said, "All right, guys, back up."
Yep.
Like they're like, "What? Did we score?" No,
Yep.
like back at like you got to go. No kickoff, no nothing. Like you got to go, but you got to go back out there. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like
What are you talking about? How is this even possible? Like that's literally everything that was going through. Okay. Now fast forward. Okay. The safety happens. I didn't even bring that up. That is yeah, that's just what it is. That was ridiculous. Okay. Now the safety happens. We have another opportunity, and our defense steps up yet again. This time, a young man by the name of Trace Ford, right, who,
ah,
from Oklahoma State, on
so
they're
close.
on their own 30, 37-yard line, and we get
What
the
a
ball
move.
at our own excuse me, what's going to be the plus territory at the 34-yard line, plus 34-yard line after this. And this is again after the interception. After
That's gorgeous.
the defense has done enough to keep him to 12 points, like 2 fumbles in plus territory. So you're like, okay. I literally, Travis, I remember like I was looking at TJ. Travis knows who TJ is. He lives in Indy. He's one of our friends. And I was like, we were both on the ground, like begging, like praying, like God, please, let's we gotta score here. We have to score here. There's just no way we go. Even if we get 3, I don't care. Make it 12-6. If we can go into halftime 12-6, I still feel okay. Okay. You feel me? And then after that, and also a close up here that Shooter Gridiron gave us. That just a great freaking play by Trace Ford here to dip under that left tackle or that right tackle, excuse me, right? And get the ball.
I mean, how athletic is that? Oh Lord,
man,
that's the Trace we've been waiting to see. If we get that Trace the rest of the year, we're gonna be in good shape.
Yeah,
PJ, take your time.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we saw this happen, and everybody's like, okay, like the air that got taken out because of the last one, like, okay, we back, like we gonna score, whether it's a field goal or even if it's a touchdown, amazing. If it's a field goal, okay, because our defense is playing good. We can go into the half, 12-6. We'll figure it out from there. 6-point game. You still feel good about it, okay? And then the most probably. And after learning too, like what call was the one of the most inexplicable plays I've probably seen, and just like I don't understand how this can happen. The play after, and it's I'm not saying that they did it on purpose, Travis, but after the last play, where you're on the 5 and you can't score because the next play, literally the next play, your defense has to go back on. For this to happen and it to happen again, the next play, your first down of a turnover, to turn it over again that's when I lost all hope. I was dejected. I was depressed at this point in time. The fact that I don't care if people thought, oh, well, it was actually a forward pass. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't have even happened. It shouldn't have happened.
Right. He skipped it there.
Yeah.
And just run the ball. Like,
yes.
Just eat it. Go forward. Like you've actually got that blocked up.
Yes.
Like scroll back a second ago.
And I told somebody that on Twitter.
You got this blocked up.
They were like, "Oh, I don't think that it was supposed to be." I was like, it's not really his fault. It shouldn't be the play call. I'm like, no, it was it was blocked up.
Like that's as blocked up as block gets, man.
Look, because this guy's here. Can he shed that left tackle or whoever that is? I can't really see the tight end.
He's coming downhill.
Make a play.
That would be an athletic move.
Yeah.
Because he's getting blocked by. Oh my gosh, that's just. Ugh. And when he lets go of this, he's got to throw it that way because there's a guy in his way. Yeah, he had to be sat. Like there's just no other. Yeah,
there's at this point, like I looked at TJ, I said he's done, bro. Like, and we've rolled for Jackson Arnold. We have. Even when people tried and said, "Hey, you need to bench him after Houston," we said no. Like y'all are crazy. Like
maybe he was trying to skip him the ball, and then be like, "Oh, it's an incomplete pass because it hit the ground, but really it's backwards," and then they take off. I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to be really smart.
Maybe wishful thinking, certainly.
And of course, it hits off of him and just goes straight towards Tennessee's end zone.
It's just inexplicable and bad luck, all wrapped up into one. And this just, again, it cannot happen, bro. right after your defense makes it. Can you imagine how demoralized they must have been? It happened again. Like they went and sat down again after making a big play again, and they're
Right.
already back on the field. And Tennessee goes and scores, and now it's 19-3 going into halftime. And I don't blame our defense. They're probably gassed, bruh.
And the thing is, if Jackson whips that thing out like quickly, it's a big game. But you can't sit there and take that long. Like that's one thing about Hawkins. When that ball needs to come out, it's out. Like it is out of there.
Yeah. Now, really quick, I do want to go to, and then we'll move on to Hawkins really quick, and then we'll get to
Yeah, we got to get some good news here eventually, man.
our Auburn prep. The one thing that did stink too is like this play. I think this would have changed the perception of the game, but this play should have been like the luck that this was not a touchdown really sucked.
Right.
It sucked.
That would. I mean, it would have. I mean, first drive of the game, you go down and score a touchdown. They start feeling all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, we were going nuts. We thought it was 7, right? Jump outsides, free play, touchdown, let's go. That's what we thought. And to see that Brennan, and it's not his fault, right? It just is part of the rule. Like if you get touched, it's dead. And unfortunately, the cornerback did enough to put his hands on Brennan, as you can see at the bottom of this right here. They circled it. He puts his hand on him like that, just gives him a quick shove, and Brennan said, I'm gone. Because he did that, the play is dead. And
that's so dumb. I hate it,
just
but
sucks.
it is what it is.
Just so, yeah. It just.
Let's get some good news, please.
Let's get to the good stuff, Trev. So Hawkins comes in, right? And he makes a few great plays. One of the most major ones being this one to Jaquez Petaway right here. Drops back. Boom. Right on the money. Probably our biggest pass play of the year, maybe.
Yeah, not quite of the year, but it's close.
Which is crazy to say that.
But puts it right out there in stride.
Yeah. And like you said, great protection here, right? They only rushed 3, but for him to go ahead and rip this, and again, people can say what they want, Travis, about Tennessee, backing off and playing their back. That's just categorically false. And Gabe even said that, right, on Oklahoma Breakdown, because they broke down this play. And he literally circled. He said, you see this? This is their starting cornerback. This is their starting nickel. This is their starting DN. This is their starting defensive tackle. So, no, they did not pull off. Okay? I want to hear that mess. Hawkins played against their ones.
Yeah, that's all you need right there. Just do that consistently.
Please.
And do that to him. That guy that just got up and the guy that helped him up, they're both healthy. So, yeah, protection was fine.
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying everything's been perfect for protection. Our top 5 receivers are hurt in some capacity, which is crazy. Our offensive line has been hurt the whole year and hasn't been able to get continuity and just suck right now.
Shout out to Troy Everett is not on the injury report, so hopefully he's back.
Hopefully.
Man, I would honestly.
Please, Lord Jesus.
I would love to see Jacob Sexton, Troy Everett, Branson Hickman, Fabechi Wiwu, and Jake Taylor. Like, that would be an awesome line right there. Like, put that out there. Troy's played a lot of football. He will be a big help.
Yeah. All right. So his first touchdown, even before that, was this play to Javonte Barnes. And this is, I mean, again, this is definitely, I mean, he led him on a drive in the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's still definitely within the confines of the game. Like they can make a comeback. So again, nobody's pulling back.
Not a great throw, but it worked.
Hey.
But he's under pressure too. Like, makes that throw with a guy on him. Like making contact with him at the time.
Yeah. And Javante caught it. Javante's had his issues catching the ball, but he caught that
It
one.
just comes out looking a little bit different, a little
Yeah.
bit different from Hawkins.
But I like this. I like this play call too. That I mean, it was something that gave the defense something to look at, right? A little fake reverse motion, which we hadn't done anything all night. Maybe we even score on that if he hands it off because I'm not.
I don't know.
I don't
We
think this
got
guy is getting to him. He'd
I
have to
don't
get
know.
off this block pretty quick. Which
No,
he
I'm
could.
talking about down here. Look, 81's going to the center, and that linebacker's just gonna say, "Oh, he's got a deadline on him, man,"
I see. I see you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but
because
a
he's
little
got to get
fake.
out wide. Like that defensive line was crashing. Like he would have to get out way wide.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, but again,
That's why 81 was coming across the formation. He wanted to go celebrate because he knew Javante Barnes was going to score.
it's the first touchdown that Tennessee's given up all year. First offensive touchdown right there.
First
So
2 touchdowns they've given up all year, and don't get it twisted. They wanted to hold that streak.
they sure did. They sure did. And then you have this play by Mike Hawkins towards the end of the game, which just I think shows his just want to, right. And this is when Kirk said, "This is your quarterback. This is your guy." He's putting his body on the line for his team, and I think that this is probably when the fan base said, "Okay, let's roll with Hawk." You're muted, Trev.
First they said, "Oh my God, he's hurt."
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But I mean, comes off the edge. Sexton tries to push him past him. It doesn't work. But I mean, that's just big time, man.
Yeah.
Like elevate. Oh, that was awesome.
And yes, let's talk about both of these, before that and the one before that, and then or the drive before that, excuse me, and then this one. The referees talking about the 6-inch yard line. I was like, are we for real, dog?
If Mechie gets out of the way, the camera will show that the ball is low. Like if you go to the ball breaks the plane right there. Like that plane is broken.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me, man.
It was crazy, but we did what needed to be done with it. Feel me? And yeah, I'm
Regardless.
just glad we scored. Just glad we scored.
Yeah.
But that those were some big time plays that Mike Hawkins were able to make, and you have to hope that moving into Auburn, which we're about to head into that section of the segment. I'm sure Travis getting a little hungry, so we may chat about that a little bit. But we wanted to make sure that we showed you guys and reminded you guys of the promise. We need to look at some of the bad things, but look at the promise. And again, listen, before we go on, Jackson Arnold, he will have an opportunity. I don't know if it's here again, but he will again. Like he's a great quarterback. Nobody like Brent didn't hang him out to dry. That narrative that he had too short of a leash for him, and that he's being mean to him, and that he's railroading him in the press conferences. It's just false. He's holding him accountable, yes, but he's never said anything disparaging about him. He's always been super encouraging and super uplifting about Jackson. Even today, he said, "Hey, like we had this conversation with Jackson. He knows that what he did was wrong, and that we have standards, but that I told him he needs to be ready because you never know, right? When an opportunity will present itself, and that could happen this year. It could. So like we'll see. Let's just hope he gets right. He gets his mind right. That he's not a Spencer Rattler in terms of like he turns kind of the opposite way, right? You feel me? And that he can actually be part of this team even still, and wanting to be at the University of Oklahoma.
Yeah, I agree. The way Hawkins runs goes upside down. I mean, I'm praying already, but
shoot.
Let's get into it. I've got some biltong tonight. Biltong, sugar-free, lots of protein. It's this one is anchovilla, a revolutionary recipe with spicy ancho peppers. I love biltong. You can go to righteousfelon.com and order with the promo code Travis to get 15% off. I think they do free shipping on orders of more than $50. But like biltong is so good. It's like the national snack of like New Zealand and rugby and all that kind of stuff, because it's dried, it's super tender. The pieces are smaller than like the full slabs of jerky, but razor thin, very tender. Again, sugar free, like quality stuff. This is fantastic. I had dinner not too long ago. Did a little pot pie, but I'm eating this bag. This is good. So check out righteousfelon.com. Promo code Travis. Get yourself some biltong. Air dried beef.
Yeah. 15% off. Now I was laughing at Kirby said, when are we doing Q&A? Not this or that. We got issues to vent about. Listen, man.
You talked about solar panels earlier. It had me cracking up, man.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, let's get into our Week 5 preview. OU goes on the road for their first matchup against Auburn. And, you know, both of our teams right now are in a state of like, we got to win this game. Obviously, both teams are having quarterbacking issues. Our offense is an issue in general, right? And I think probably that's something we could have mentioned as well. The issue with Jackson, what he did was his decisions. I understand that the offensive line has been great. We don't have a running game. Our top 5 wide receivers are hurt in some capacity. We're literally the worst powerful offense. We're 125th in the nation. Like, it's insane to think about. It just makes me want to puke, honestly. But you have to understand that, like, the quarterback plays a large part in that one, but also the decision making matters, and especially when you hear, you know, Gabe and Teddy when they break down things and how intricately they break down some things, because, you know, they're obviously not in the program but somewhat attached to it, and, you know, former All-American players, both of them. To hear Gabe say that was the worst quarterback half I've ever seen from an Oklahoma quarterback, I think says something, and it should. More than just the interceptions, just the decisions in the RPO game. And then you have to look at, okay, is that also a piece of the reason things haven't been what they should be too? I think you're muted too, Trev.
All 3 of the turnovers were not protection related in my mind.
Yeah, they weren't.
I mean, his backwards pass, sure, he had to deviate his throwing pattern because of the pressure, but you're not supposed to throw it there anyways. Just hand the ball off. So it's like, I mean, that's what they said. It was like, and it seemed like all night, like you could pause it and be like, wow, if he would have handed it off here, or if he would have kept it here, or if he would have pitched it here, like it was just bad. So yeah, just the decision making alone, you've got to go to Hawkins, and it's fine because Hawkins. So I put up his passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and interception splits the other day.
Yeah,
I mean, bro had what, like 41 passing touchdowns to 3 picks in high school. Like, he doesn't turn the ball over. He gets it. Like, he's not going to throw the ball backwards. He's going to hold on to the ball. The dude was inverted and held on to the ball, like, after taking a massive hit. So it's like, just in this offense, you don't need him to be Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the question is, oh, everybody's like, don't act like Hawkins is going to come in here and just magically fix everything. He doesn't have to. He just has to make things a little bit better. We're not asking him to put out a top 10 offense out there. We're not asking him to put a top 50 offense out there. Put a top 80 offense out there, and we'll win games because our defense is that good. Let our defense rest a little bit, man. Like, sustain a drive. Like, that's what Michael Hawkins will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Allen, if you watched him like freshman, sophomore, junior at Allen, had no offensive line. No offensive line. So go check those tapes. He's used to it. He's had to run for a while. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
But we're both going back to my original point. We're both in a state of disarray on offense and quarterbacking, and so our defense is categorically better than their defense. I think even with our offensive struggles, we are the better team. That's why we're picked to go and win on the road. If it was a home game, we'd probably be favored by a score, if not maybe two possessions, maybe 10 points. But we're favored, I think, by 2 or 3 at this moment, just because it's our first SEC game. We're on the road.
I think we were 1.5 last time I checked, but I mean, I would take OU on that. But
yeah,
but a lot of it is, as Eric points out in the comments, and also Eric with radio, Tyler was the one that said it was worse than Arizona. I actually didn't think it was worse than Arizona. That Arizona postgame show is the worst one I've ever done by far. Everybody was drunk and upset, especially because they were all excited we were going to win, and then we didn't. But anyways, with Auburn, I mean, their offense, like, if they would stop turning the ball over, they would actually be decent. Like, they've got the SEC's leading receiver when it comes to touchdowns. They've got, I think they ran the ball decently well against Arkansas. Like, they were fine against Arkansas. They just could not hold on to the ball. They could not possess the ball. 5 turnovers against Arkansas. All right. And the problem for me with that is usually that's not something that you can repeat. Usually you can't say, hey, just plan on turning this team over 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? Like that's not typically something that you can count on. But they are going against like the best turnover team in the SEC and like number 2 in the country, I think. So, I mean, I guess if there's a team that a heavy turnover team doesn't want to see, it's Oklahoma. But like, it's just weird to count on it, right? Like you're like, I trust the defense, I trust our edges, which have actually been playing really well. Like I was critical of Miguel Chavis, and I think a lot of us were because we didn't see the production out of the room. Bro, like RMT is like number 3 in the SEC in sacks. Like I get Grayson Holton's defensive lineman technically, but it's pass rush stuff. Trace Ford again, finally showing some life, causing now 2 turnovers. It's a second turnover caused because the other time he hit on that tipped interception, like Trace Ford was the guy who hit him. So it's like Trace Ford's coming alive. Like
he did against one of the better lines in the SEC, if not a top 3 SEC offensive line.
Right. So it's like everything's coming around, but it's just tough. You can't always count on just getting turnovers. Like offense is gonna have to score. I assume offense is gonna have to score some points. So
they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. And Auburn's defense, they're not in the snuff at, but they're not as good as Tennessee's defense is.
I need to look at let's see. Here we go. Okay, so I'm looking for one name in particular. Taylor Tatum, doubtful. Damn. Because I thought there was a day that we would see maybe against Auburn. You see Ivan, you see both Zions, and you see Taylor Tatum back there with Michael Hawkins Jr. You could have all your receivers, your running back, and your quarterback all be true freshmen in a game during the SEC. Like, how crazy is that? Like, if you're able to make that happen, think about that. You're able to make that happen, you've got these guys together for 3 years. Like, that's great. That's great continuity. Like, if they go out and have success. Like, but that's also terrifying. So, I know Kirby says, people are calling out Bedenbow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with communication. Like, Gabe said it on the pod. He's like, they're all like planting, like they're not moving forward, and that's not the way Bill Bedenbow has ever coached. So I don't know who's having him coach that way. Like I don't know if that's what Seth wants out of whatever their offense is doing. I don't know if they're scared of getting downfield and being called for an ineligible man downfield. Like I don't know. So I think part of it is just lack of chemistry, and that happens. Like they're not communicating well, they're not comfortable communicating. I don't know, but like pretty sure Gabe uses the phrase like keep no secrets, like talk,
speak,
like just talk. So I don't
say
know.
it out loud.
I think you get Troy. I think if you get Troy in there, like I think your best offensive line of the year could show up tomorrow. Now don't get it twisted. Jake Taylor is very hurt, but he's going to give it a go. If he's going to give it a go, just know that he's trying to win one for the Gipper. But if you've got the Jakes as your anchors and then Fabechi, Hickman, and Troy Everett through the middle, I like that. And I think Hawkins knows how to make it work. And I think Seth Luttrell will be a bit more comfortable in his play calling with Hawkins.
Yeah. I hope so. And I mean, again, you saw a few plays, not all of them, but even that play that we showed. I don't want to just pull it back up here again, but the touchdown pass to Javonte Barnes, like, that was something that we didn't see in the first 4 weeks, like a concept like that I'm a tuck and hide, like I'm about to do this and hand it off on the reverse and then like bring it out. Does that mean he couldn't have done that with Jackson? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's not something we saw. So
it's also you have a bit of the run threat, right? Because Hawkins is the run threat to the outside, so they have to respect that as well. Try and get him down because they think he could take off after it.
He definitely could.
Like, I mean, the 2-point conversion, they got called back because of Sexton. That, like, out to the side and just dropping it right in a bucket over the top of the defender is something that Hawkins has in his bag. Like, that is a throw he's extremely comfortable with. So, I'm very loudly excited about Michael Hawkins.
Yeah.
Only because I think he can make the defense 10% better, which is really all we need. And with me, it's very easy. Jackson Arnold scored 0 touchdowns when he was a quarterback, 3 turnovers. Michael Hawkins went in, didn't turn the ball over, and scored twice. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. Okay, let's do a score prediction.
Man, I forget what I even put in my article. Oh boy. Chat, what are we feeling?
Yeah, let me know. I'm gonna step out for just a second and handle something for 2 seconds.
Okay. All right, chat. I know it's all gonna be low scoring jokes. Kirby says we're losing 17-13. Interesting. I think Hawkins puts up some points. Not a ton of points. But I think Hawkins can get into the 20s. Now, Keltner is out due to a medical situation. Not an injury, but medical situation. So say we don't kick any field goals. Let's go 28-24. No, giving up 24 to Auburn would be crazy.
4-2. 28-24.
Well, yeah, but I thought that's a lie. I'm gonna go 21-10 Sooners. 21-10.
21-10. OU.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to try field goals. I mean, Schmidt can make field goals. Not a ton, but 3 touchdowns, maybe one of them's defensive touchdown. Who knows? But Tennessee's a better offense than Auburn by a significant margin. And they were holding stuff back for them. It worked. Like, they played great. There's no reason to hold anything else back. So I think 21-10. Yeah, weather forecast. It could be rainy, but I think it seems like a lot of it's going to get out of there by Saturday.
I
Well,
need.
I think Florida's hitting tonight.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the thing about storms like this, they move fast,
They do.
which is what makes them dangerous. So they're going to be hitting
Yeah. I need
tonight
to
in
stand up
Florida.
or something.
Hmm?
I need Kirby to do stand up or something. He's killing me out here.
No, that's solar, man. That had me going, man.
He
Our
said,
kicker, our kicker has it's a medical issue,
"Yeah,
which isn't long term or anything like that. It's not an injury. He's fine. It's just it was a medical issue he was dealing with.
um, I'm gonna go." 45 to no, I'm playing. Okay.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna
Oh
say
my god!
24 to 14. 24
Okay,
14 is my
so I went 21-10. You went 24-14.
yeah.
See, now it feels like we're coming to reality that we are a defensively led football team.
hmm
You know what I mean? Because
at this point,
like midweek, everybody like usually I'm like, yeah, 38, 35. You know, like what like I think I said 35, 31 last week. Like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking like that OU could score 35 and that Tennessee would score 31? Like,
yeah.
I'm not sure I put
Whoa.
Sooner Cowboys hasn't been here for most of the night. I think he's been out drinking.
He's normally the negative Nancy.
Um, he wants Daniel Akinkumi on the line, and I guess that's going to translate to a 55-10 victory. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to kind of see scores come back down, but also on their side too, right? Like on the Auburn side, like it's not a shootout anymore. It's good old classic SEC football defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to see. We just haven't seen it. We're the 125th ranked offense in the country right now. Okay?
Tulane's
Like,
got a decent defense, but I don't know. Auburn's got better athletes. I know that much.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
our offense absolutely gone.
We don't know if Birch is playing. He's
Well, Sooner Cowboys missed my theory earlier. I mean, I do think that there's something about Hawkins having a ton of reps with the backups like Jaquez Petaway and Zion Kearney and Ivan Carrion and those kind of guys. Like, not that we're not better with, if we had Burks and Anderson out there, I get it. But at the same time, like, he looked good throwing to Petaway. Like, those guys have developed chemistry. Love you. PSS in with a super chat.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. It was awesome to see the defense flying around, man. Like, they had Nico in hell, like, for a good part of that game.
He did. And Nico made some plays. He made a throw or two.
No, he's got an arm. There ain't no doubt about that. But they didn't put up no 750 yards of offense. So
That was really on a Billy. That was really on a Billy Bowman bust a little bit, slightly.
and Nico and they had the offense out there the whole time.
Yes, they did.
So it's like when you give them short fields and man, Dolby's out of surgery, good. Parker's talking about the Hawkins to Thompson connection today. Wouldn't be shocked by it, but I think Petaway is going to be. Appreciate you, Tanya. I think Petaway. I think he's gonna have a big time with Hawkins at quarterback because I have a theory that Jackson Arnold occasionally hung Jaquez Petaway out to dry, a little hospital ball action. He he looked good running across the middle for Hawkins. So just saying, he looked really good running across the middle for Hawkins.
I swear, Center Cowboys. It's like we finally get a defense, and we have the worst offense.
Tyler was like, "Man, this football program is two ships passing in the night. Like, you just can't line it up, man. Like, you can't line up elite offense and elite defense on the same team. Can't do it.
Can't.
We thought last year we were like, okay, offense is cooking, right? Here we go. Defense just needs to step up a little bit. And that's the crazy part is, like, the defense has a lot of the same pieces, right? Ethan Downs, Dejon Terry, Billy Bowman, RSJ, Danny Stutzman, Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie, Jared Kanek, like all it and is lost. Like Gentry Williams hasn't played this year. Like there's been some dudes out. So it's just funny to me that everybody's like this defense took such a jump, which I talked about for 3 years now. I said, watch year 3. Year 3 is when Brent Venables' defense is pop. And it has, man. Everybody's just comfortable. They're flying around. They look like they're having fun. So, I don't know. I think.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you. Hawkins familiar with these wide receivers is a positive. It may not be as good with other receivers. And Jackson Arnold wasn't on the same page with them for sure. Yeah, I think chemistry matters so much. And, I mean, he's got it with the backups. And all of our starters are hurt. So,
yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah, exactly. Before we get to this or that in the night, I'd be remiss, okay, to listen. We won, but that was a game where Caleb and Anthony both tried to lose the game.
That interception he threw in the corner of the end zone to three Bears players, he just kind of like lobbed it. They were looking at each other like that.
Even if it didn't,
he doing?
Even if
that
it
was
didn't,
so funny.
It was still bad. And because I was watching, I was still serving beer, but I was watching the big screen. I was like, "What was he doing?" Like that was when you texted. But anyways, I'd be remiss to say this, and me and Travis are both on the same page with this. Y'all said that Jeff Lebby last year was bad. That came out of your mouth. Bad. B-A-D. B-A-D. That he was a bad offensive coordinator. Brother, we're the worst offense in Power 4 right now. At no point, even as the worst Jeff Lebby games, and take out the 49-0 game, we didn't have a real quarterback. I'm talking about a real quarterback. Even the worst Jeff Lebby coached games, we would still have been a top 25 offense, top 30. And we were realistically a top 10 to 15 both years. So leave that there. Now y'all know what bad is. Respect the game, okay? Because I'm sick and tired of us having these conversations. We need to be realistic because now we put bad juju on ourselves and we actually have a bad offense.
Hawkins is here to save us, bro. It's in the back.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Kirby, the North Texas offense was a heck of a lot better than this offense that we see here in front of us today. So was the Indiana offense. So was the Arizona
North Carolina
offense. All of his offenses have been better than what we see right now.
Offenses. It's not like Latrell has not coached good offenses before.
Would you take Latrell's North Texas offenses over the one we currently have? Yes, you would. So what changed? Did he just get lucky at all those places that he was having prolific offenses? No. He gets to open it up with Hawkins now. He gets to call the offense the way he wants to call it. Here we go.
All right, let's get into this or that. Let's go. All right, first one. Creed Humphrey or Lane Johnson. Now, I know they play two different positions, but which one to you is more important? And I'm not talking about currently. I'm talking about as their Oklahoma selves. If they were at Oklahoma, this is not an NFL question. This is.
I'll put it this way. I'm going to go outside the rules a little bit. I am going Lane Johnson. Only as it pertains to his time right now, because I'm going outside the rules. He comes back, works out all the offensive line guys like during the season, like during the offseason, during camp, like he brings them out to his place, goes through drills, works with them and everything. And Creed Humphrey wore a Tennessee shirt on the internet like today. I know he lost a bet, but Creed Humphrey wore a Tennessee shirt on the internet today. Lane Johnson would never. So I'm going with Lane Johnson. Tennessee wearing orange. Gross. Yeah, he was wearing orange.
All right, next. Ranch or blue cheese?
Okay. It obviously depends on the application. If I'm dipping pizza crust, probably going ranch. If I'm eating a salad, going blue cheese. If I'm eating wings, I'm absolutely going blue cheese.
You can't do neither.
Good Lord intended. But, yeah. First of all, ranch on pizza crust. Let me just be clear there. And Sheila, shout out for spelling it correctly. Went with the bleh cheese. Sacre bleu. Yep, PSS going with the correct spelling as well. Appreciate y'all. Didn't know y'all were French, but raccoon ankles. Yum. What about you, JP? Where you at?
I'm going blue cheese all the way. I really don't. I'll do ranch on occasional things, but
I'll do ranch on like a French fry or like a tater tot or like pizza crust, something starchy, something like that I'm dipping in. Yeah. But if if you're eating like, and it's not necessary, like trying to elevate a dish, I'm going blue cheese, like a wedge salad. It's got crumbled blue cheese on it, right? You can, melt some blue cheese on top of a ribeye or something like that. Like there's just, it's just elevating a bit. You know what? Ranch makes everything taste like ranch. So if you like the way ranch tastes, then you probably put ranch on everything. Everything just becomes a vessel for ranch.
Last one. This is gonna look like a stupid question, but it's really not. Let me explain why. I know that you'll understand when I put it out here. I know what the answer is probably gonna be for a lot of people, but there's a lot of people who may feel differently, and try to be objective if you can. This is the NFL question, okay? Prime Adrian Peterson or prime LaDainian Tomlinson?
You'll probably take prime Jonathan Taylor over both of them, but
no.
The way you take Anthony Richardson over Baker, but I mean, especially the Vikings fan in me, like one of the greatest days of my life was when Adrian got drafted to my Vikings. Like he fell to us. Like still one of the greatest drafts ever. Like I don't know what your reasoning is going to be.
It's fine. It's fine. Definitely. I would take all day. Adrian Peterson was my favorite Oklahoma. I mean, he's the reason I really truly got in Oklahoma football. Like when Adrian was when all day was going, I was about 7 years old, 7, 8, 9 years old, and that was when I was really starting to become really cognizant, right, of OU football. I remember watching the national championship game, but I wasn't really into it. But it got to the point when he broke his collarbone against Iowa State after that flip, like I cried. Right, like that was when it became real for me. So
Derek
I
trying to
followed
be
him.
Derek trying to be you know, trying to be special, trying to be unique, trying to stand out in a crowd.
What?
Derek picking LT.
Whoa!
Kirby knows what's up.
Explain. Yeah, that's true. If you got Adrian Peterson I mean, when they got Brett Favre, took it to another level. You got Adrian Peterson with a quarterback, man. It's a wide. Yeah, he was a better pass catcher, but Adrian Peterson put people on their back. It was. I was either watching. I was either at Colts games or watching Vikings games at that time.
Bro, listen to this. Like, listen to this draft. This was Adrian's year, 07. First of all, the Raiders. Sorry, Chris Plank. Jamarcus Russell was number 1 that year, right?
Yes.
But then it goes Calvin Johnson, Hall of Famer. Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer. We'll jump down to 6th pick with LaRon Landry, Pro Bowler. Adrian Peterson will obviously be a Hall of Famer. Patrick Willis, Hall of Famer. Darrelle Revis, Hall of Famer. Marshawn Lynch, Michael Griffin, Reggie Nelson, like Joe Staley, Greg Olson, Steve Smith was in that draft. Like what a draft. But yeah, that's why I was so glad whenever Adrian ended up falling to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was absolutely loaded.
Both of them were great. They were them great running backs.
I mean, talk about 2 of the 3 top picks are Hall of Famers, and the other one's Jamarcus Russell.
Yikes!
Like that's like a gambling question. Like, hey,
yes,
give you a top 3 pick. One will set your franchise back, half a decade, or you got 2/3 chance of getting a Hall of Famer. So,
y'all help PSS out with this one. Since he threw that in there, y'all help him out with his fantasy.
Right? Are we picking your roster?
That's what I need to do in the future.
I think Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, they were getting dominated by Buffalo, but they were still trying to force the ball to him a little bit. And Gabe Davis he's a little banged up. So I would go with Brian Thomas Jr. PSS.
Yeah.
Miles
guys,
fan or something because he typed it in all caps. So
Jennings, very convicted. It's been a great show, guys. We appreciate y'all. 15 minutes over. It was fun. It's good to really kind of to talk about it. Right, we're in the middle of the week. Days past it. We're on to Auburn. Right, have to look back into what happened, but it's good to hopefully see the team hopefully rally around Mike Hawkins. Hopefully, defense again stays healthy because the offense isn't, and that the offense gets to do and get back to the basics, as we heard BV talk about in the press conference yesterday. Just at some point, y'all got to produce. Like, you cannot be the worst offense in the Power Four. It just can't happen. Not anywhere in
Michael Hawkins is here, baby.
What'd you say?
Don't fear, Michael Hawkins is here, baby.
Yeah.
Not too late to mega Heisman push.
Not too late. It'd be insane. It'd be insane if we had 2 5-star former number 1 quarterbacks. But granted, I know Caleb was too, but bench for true freshmen twice in our lifetimes.
Well, that's what somebody was like. Okay, Spencer Rattler, against Texas and Jackson Arnold against Tennessee, both benched after a turnover in the second quarter for a younger athletic quarterback against whatever team wearing orange, and Casey Thompson was on the field. Like, it was like he's like drawing all the parallels. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So 10 wins on the way.
Keaton, if Hawkins does that, then yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. You could say I was with Jim Jones. Okay.
Well, if he does that, I'm
He does
drinking.
that.
I might drink a bottle of fine. I might. I mean, it's only 70 proof. I might drink half a bottle on air.
Yeah.
Just to support you.
Ain't nobody thinking Mike gonna be crazy, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
We'll
Stranger
see.
things.
We'll see.
So,
Appreciate y'all.
Boomer.